State Marco Rubio is meeting with the Chinese foreign minister on the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference. Arriving in Munich this morning, the secretary told reporters that, quote, the old world order is dead. Sounds familiar. President Trump was really tough on Europe just a few weeks ago in Davos, and last year, Vice President Vance was scathing in his critique at this very conference. CNN Chief International Anchor Christian Amanpour is in Munich for the conference and joins us now. Christian, I wonder what the atmosphere is like with Rubio getting ready to speak, given what so many of these European leaders have heard from President Trump and Vice President Vance over time.
Absolutely, John, and I was here last year, and it was like a shockwave when J.D. Vance addressed this community and really put American allies in Europe on notice that there was no more hugging the transatlantic alliance. He really castigated them. It was a blistering speech. He told them off for not embracing their far right, their extremist groups. He told them they're not giving them their freedom of speech. And in the intervening year, you've seen how Trump administration policies have actually pursued that very hard line policy towards their allies, and worryingly less of a hard line and less pressure on their adversary Russia. So people here are wondering, how is it going to be this year? There's quite a lot of nervousness. They're hoping that Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who is obviously the chief diplomat of the United States, will be more diplomatic. They do not expect him to speak against Trump policies, but they do hope that he will talk in more smoother ways to try to paper over this terrible rift that has now occurred within the transatlantic alliance. And it's not just a pretend rift, it's a real rift. You've just heard, we've just been listening to the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz speaking. He opened the conference, and his basic message was that actually the world order that we've all relied on and that has helped us with peace and prosperity over the last 80 years, quote, no longer exists. You heard Marco Rubio, when he got off the plane speaking to reporters, as you just pointed out, saying pretty much the same thing. Why doesn't it exist anymore? Because the U.S. president has decided that it no longer exists. What is the alternative? What is the plan B? Well, here people are hoping that they can somehow come up with a plan where Europe stands on its own 2 feet much, much more, and that does de-risking and decoupling and workarounds. Europe and other allies, like, whether it's India, whether it's Canada, all those allies that are finding themselves pushed away. So I think this is a real turning point, and we'll see after Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, speaks tomorrow, what the tone will be. But certainly there's hope that the tone, at least, will be much more inclusive than the blistering takedown delivered by J.D. Vance this time last year, John.
And maybe hoping that Rubio has a little bit of a softer touch. We will see. Christian Amanpour in Munich, great to have you there. I know you've got a busy schedule with some big interviews. We look forward to speaking to you again. All right, we're just minutes away from the release of a key inflation